Cougars are built different these days. This woman is 54 years old. It is 3:42 a.m. and I just left one of my best friend's weddings after having a really nice time with one of his guests. You know, I get to the wedding, I start scoping out some talent per usual, and I see across the hall this woman that's just absolutely stunning. She's like 5'8", thin, gorgeous skin, gorgeous hair, just an absolute 10 out of 10. You know, the type of woman that frankly you don't really see every day. You know, I did a quick ring check and she was good to go. She's beautiful, so I start chatting her up, of course, not really knowing who she is, assuming she's a friend of the bride or something like that. You know, we end up talking all night long, have a little fun on the dance floor, and at the after party, I kind of asked her, hey, what are you doing later? Because the wedding was kind of by her house, we end up going there and, you know, we have some fun. After we took care of business, we were just chatting and I ended up asking her, oh, how old are you? It turns out she was actually like 55 years old. Now, if I wasn't aware of the Bethany Frankel types and the fact that people like Hailey Bieber and Kris Jenner and all these other folks are actually on top of their anti-aging, I frankly would not have believed her. You know, and I'm a big longevity guy, right? I cold plunge, I take my NAD, I take my resveratrol, I do all the things, right? So I asked her, hey, what the hell are you doing to look like some 20-something-year-old in your 50s? I had a sneaking suspicion she was going to be taking one of probably three things, and I ended up being right. You know, she towels herself off, ends up getting up out of bed, and grabs one of these from her medicine cabinet. Now, I'm not a doctor, I'm not some influencer, so I'm not going to tell you that this stuff made her look 27 by itself. You know, she had a good diet, lived a good life, but she was doing a little something to kind of add to her youth. She told me she'd been taking a couple of these every day for the last 6 months and that she had noticed the biggest changes in her energy levels. That extra energy helped her get to the gym more, helped her take better care of herself. And she thinks it's been a big part of the reason why she's been able to kind of, you know, turn the tide. You know, it makes sense, right? You know, NAD levels naturally fall by as much as 50% starting in our 20s. So by the time most people are in their 50s, they might have half as much as they used to. That's why you see all these celebrities like Kendall, Hailey, Meghan Trainor, all of them are supplementing with NAD, because if you supplement with NAD, you can take your NAD levels back to what they were in your 20s. NAD is so important because it's responsible for all of these different molecules and all these proteins and things in your body. When you actually have good NAD levels, that's why you're able to look so good and so young. Up until about 2 years ago, the only thing you could do if you wanted NAD was injectables, but those things are like $1,500 to $2,000. Nowadays, a lot of people are taking these supplements, which have actually been shown to be 9 times as effective as a bunch of other options. Yeah, I definitely don't know if this is the fountain of youth alone, but it can probably help. I'll leave a link for it down here if you're interested.